The story we're about to tell is about a moment, a collision of worlds. Really, it's about a tourist, maybe a bit too enthusiastic about experiencing the local culture and its beverages. And a guard, an unshakable symbol of tradition and duty. To understand what happens next, you need to picture the scene. Imagine London. Specifically, imagine the area right outside Buckingham Palace. The sun is shining, sometimes, and the air is filled with the excited chatter of hundreds of tourists. They're all craning their necks, cameras poised, waiting for the changing of the guard. It's a spectacle, a display of precision and history that draws people from all corners of the globe. The area is a mix of organized chaos. Ropes and barriers try to keep the crowds contained, but people spill over, eager to get the best view. Street performers are busking nearby, adding to the general hubbub. Ice cream vendors hawk their wares, and the smell of freshly baked pastries wafts from a nearby cafe. It's a sensory overload, a vibrant tapestry of sights, sounds, and smells. But amidst all this cheerful commotion, there's a palpable sense of anticipation. Everyone is waiting for the main event. You can feel the collective breath being held, the shared excitement building. The changing of the guard isn't just a ceremony. It's a living piece of history, a reminder of the traditions and values that the palace represents. And right in the middle of it all, our story begins to unfold. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the drama is about to begin. Now, let's zoom in on one of the central figures in this unfolding drama. The guard. Not just any guard, but the guard. He's part of a tradition that stretches back centuries, a symbol of unwavering duty and dedication. Imagine him standing there, ramrod straight, in his scarlet tunic and bearskin hat. The hat itself is enormous, adding to his already imposing height. It seems to swallow his head whole, leaving only the faintest glimpse of his face beneath. But even that glimpse reveals a face set in stone, an expression of unwavering focus. His uniform is immaculate, every button gleaming, every crease perfectly pressed. It's a uniform that demands respect, a visual representation of the authority he embodies. He's not just a person, he's a symbol. He stands motionless, barely blinking, seemingly impervious to the noise and chaos around him. The tourists jostle for position, cameras flash incessantly, and children giggle and point. But he remains unaffected, a statue carved from discipline and tradition. His movements, when they come, are precise and deliberate. Each step is measured, each turn perfectly executed. It's a dance of precision, a ballet of duty. He doesn't walk, he marches. He doesn't look, he surveys. He's a machine of tradition, a cog in the grand clockwork of the monarchy. He is more than just a man in a uniform. He represents something bigger. He's a guardian of history, a protector of tradition, and a symbol of unwavering commitment. And he's about to encounter something completely unpredictable. Now, let's turn our attention to the other key player in this unfolding drama, the tourist. He's a stark contrast to the rigid formality of the guard. Where the guard is discipline personified, the tourist is, well, let's just say he's enjoying his vacation. A lot. Picture this. Hawaiian shirt slightly askew, sunglasses perched precariously on his nose, and a half-empty pint of beer sloshing precariously in his hand. He's loud, boisterous, and clearly several sheets to the wind. He's separated from his tour group, probably distracted by a particularly shiny souvenir shop or the allure of another pub. He's weaving his way through the crowd, bumping into people and slurring apologies that are more mumbled than articulated. He's laughing loudly at jokes only he seems to understand, and his gait is unpredictable. Let's just say he's not exactly a master of coordination at the moment. He's the kind of tourist who believes that immersing himself in the local culture means sampling every alcoholic beverage the country has to offer. And he seems to be taking his research very seriously. He's oblivious to the grandeur of Buckingham Palace, the historical significance of the changing of the guard, and the general sense of decorum that pervades the area. He's in his own little world, a world fueled by sunshine, beer, and a healthy dose of vacation-induced recklessness. He's the embodiment of carefree abandon, a stark contrast to the stoic duty of the guard. And these two vastly different worlds are about to collide in a way that neither of them will soon forget. The stage is set for an interesting encounter. The air thickens with anticipation, but now, it's a different kind of anticipation. It's no longer just the excitement for the changing of the guard. It's the nervous energy of a looming disaster. The tourist, still blissfully unaware of the potential consequences, continues his meandering journey. His path is now undeniably intersecting with the guard's route. He's getting closer and closer, like a moth drawn to a very stern and unyielding flame. People in the crowd begin to notice. Whispers ripple through the onlookers. Some stifle nervous giggles, others gasp audibly. Everyone can see what's about to happen, except for the tourist himself. A mother pulls her child closer, shielding her eyes from the impending spectacle. A teenager whips out his phone, eager to capture the moment for posterity. An elderly gentleman shakes his head in disapproval, muttering something about the decline of civilization. The tension is palpable. You could cut it with a knife. The rhythmic tramp of the guard's boots grows louder, a steady drumbeat counting down to the inevitable collision. The tourist stumbles again, nearly dropping his beer, but recovers with a clumsy flourish. He laughs, oblivious to the stares and the mounting dread. The guard is now just a few feet away. His face remains impassive, his eyes fixed straight ahead. He's like a force of nature, an unstoppable object on a predetermined course. The tourist is an equally unstoppable object, fueled by alcohol and a complete lack of awareness. Something has to give, and it will. The question is what, and what will be the fallout? The moment of truth is rapidly approaching. The seconds tick by with agonizing slowness. The collision is imminent, and then it happens. The moment everyone has been dreading, and perhaps secretly anticipating, arrives with a sudden, jarring abruptness. The tourist, in his drunken haze, takes one last, ill-advised step. He stumbles forward, his foot catching on something unseen, and lurches directly into the path of the oncoming guard. There's a collective gasp from the crowd, a wave of horrified anticipation washing over the onlookers. Time seems to slow down, stretching the moment into an eternity. The air crackles with unspoken tension. The tourist, realizing too late the peril he's in, opens his mouth to shout, but the sound is swallowed by the sheer force of the impending impact. His eyes widen in a moment of belated comprehension, but it's far too late to react. He's completely helpless, a sitting duck in the path of a highly trained, impeccably disciplined, and utterly unyielding force. The collision is unavoidable. The laws of physics, and the unwavering dedication of the guard, have conspired against him. The beer sloshes over the rim of the pint glass, showering the tourist in a lukewarm cascade of ale. His sunglasses slip further down his nose, obscuring his already limited vision. He's a picture of utter disarray, a comedic figure frozen in a moment of impending doom. And then, the inevitable happens. The two forces meet with a resounding thud, a sickening crunch that reverberates through the stunned silence of the crowd. The world tilts, the tourist's carefully constructed reality shatters, and the consequences of his actions come crashing down upon him. The impact itself is a study in controlled force. The guard, without breaking stride or altering his expression, delivers a swift, powerful, but undeniably controlled shoulder check. It's not a wild swing or a retaliatory blow. It's a precise application of force, designed to remove the obstacle from his path with maximum efficiency and minimal disruption to his duty. Think of it like a well-executed martial arts maneuver. Years of training have honed his reflexes and instincts, allowing him to react instantly and decisively. There's no hesitation, no second-guessing, just pure, unadulterated action. The tourist, on the receiving end of this controlled force, doesn't stand a chance. He's like a rag doll being tossed aside by a particularly strong gust of wind. His feet leave the ground, his arms flail wildly, and his sunglasses go flying, landing with a delicate plink on the cobblestones. He's propelled backward with surprising force, a testament to the guard's inherent strength and the momentum of his march. The air rushes past him, blurring his vision and scrambling his senses. He experiences a brief moment of weightlessness, a fleeting sensation of flying before gravity reasserts its dominance. The entire encounter lasts mere seconds, but it feels like an eternity to the tourist. It's a rude awakening, a harsh reminder that actions have consequences, and that even on vacation, certain boundaries should not be crossed. The guard's reaction is not about anger or retribution. It's about maintaining order, upholding tradition, and fulfilling his duty, no matter the cost. The tourist lands with an undignified thump on the cobblestones. He's a tangled mess of limbs, Hawaiian shirt, and spilled beer. His sunglasses lie a few feet away, one lens cracked, a testament to the force of the impact. He groans, a low, guttural sound that escapes his lips as he tries to regain his bearings. The world is spinning, his head is throbbing, and his sense of equilibrium is completely off-kilter. He feels like he's been hit by a truck, albeit a truck wearing a scarlet tunic and a bearskin hat. The crowd, initially stunned into silence, erupts in a cacophony of noise. Gasps mingle with nervous laughter. Whispers overlap with shouts of surprise. Some people rush forward to offer assistance, while others scramble to capture the scene on their phones. "Did you see that?" exclaims a young woman, her voice laced with disbelief. "He just sent him flying." "Serves him right," mutters an elderly gentleman, shaking his head in disapproval. "Disrespectful behavior." A group of teenagers bursts into uncontrollable giggles, mimicking the tourist's awkward fall. The scene is a chaotic blend of reactions, a microcosm of human nature on display. Some are empathetic, others are judgmental, and still others are simply amused. But everyone is captivated by the spectacle, drawn in by the unexpected drama that has unfolded before their eyes. The tourist, still dazed and confused, slowly pushes himself up to a sitting position. He surveys the scene with bleary eyes, trying to make sense of what just happened. He's surrounded by a sea of faces, all staring at him with varying degrees of curiosity, concern, and amusement. He suddenly realizes that he's the center of attention, and not in a good way. But amidst the chaos and the swirling reactions of the crowd, one figure remains unmoved, unchanged, and utterly imperturbable: the guard. He doesn't flinch, doesn't pause, doesn't even break eye contact with the point on the horizon towards which he's marching. He simply continues his routine, his every step precise, his every movement deliberate. The collision, the commotion, the fallen tourist, none of it seems to register on his stoic face. He's a machine of duty, programmed to perform his task regardless of the external circumstances. It's almost surreal, this contrast between the pandemonium surrounding him and the guard's unwavering composure. He's like the eye of a hurricane, a point of absolute stillness in the midst of swirling chaos. The rhythmic tramp of his boots continues, a steady drumbeat that drowns out the whispers and gasps of the crowd. He marches on, oblivious to the spectacle he has just created, a symbol of unwavering discipline and dedication. He doesn't glance back at the fallen tourist, doesn't offer a word of apology or explanation. He simply continues to perform his duty, upholding the traditions of the monarchy with unwavering precision. It's a powerful statement, this unwavering commitment to duty. It's a reminder that some things are bigger than individual moments, that some traditions must be upheld regardless of the personal cost. The guard's imperturbability is not just a reflection of his training. It's a reflection of the values he represents: duty, honor, and unwavering commitment to service. And as he marches on, he leaves behind a fallen tourist, a stunned crowd, and a powerful lesson about the importance of respect and tradition. As the initial shock wears off, the tourist begins to piece together what has just transpired. The throbbing in his head, the spilled beer soaking his shirt, the cracked sunglasses. It all starts to coalesce into a single, undeniable truth. He messed up, big time. The laughter of the teenagers stings, the disapproving glares of the elderly gentleman burn, and the concerned looks of the onlookers only amplify his embarrassment. He realizes the enormity of his actions, the disrespect he showed to the guard, to the ceremony, and to the very traditions that Buckingham Palace represents. A wave of shame washes over him, replacing the earlier haze of alcohol-induced euphoria. He suddenly feels incredibly foolish, a caricature of the clueless tourist. He wants to disappear, to melt into the cobblestones and escape the judging eyes of the crowd. He fumbles with his sunglasses, trying to wipe away the beer and the remnants of his shattered dignity. He attempts a weak smile, a gesture of apology, but it comes across as strained and insincere. He knows he needs to say something, to do something, to make amends for his boorish behavior, but the words catch in his throat. He's acutely aware of the fact that he's ruined the experience for everyone around him. The changing of the guard, a symbol of history and tradition, has been overshadowed by his drunken antics. He's become the anti-symbol, a representation of disrespect and disregard. The weight of his actions presses down on him, heavy and suffocating. He's no longer just a tourist enjoying his vacation. He's a cautionary tale, a reminder of the consequences of recklessness and disrespect. And the realization dawns on him that this is a memory he won't soon forget. The crowd's reactions are as varied as the individuals themselves. Some, driven by genuine concern, approach the tourist, offering a hand to help him up. "Are you all right, sir?" asks a kind-faced woman, her voice filled with genuine worry. "That looked like a nasty fall." Others, more interested in documenting the spectacle, continue to snap photos and record videos, their phones held aloft like trophies. The incident is already spreading like wildfire across social media, destined to become a viral sensation. A few whisper disapprovingly, their comments laced with judgment and disdain. "Typical tourist," sneers a man with a neatly trimmed beard. "No respect for our traditions." A young couple argues about whether the guard's reaction was justified. "He was just doing his job," insists the boyfriend. "He can't just let people walk all over him." "But was that really necessary?" counters the girlfriend. "He could have just stepped aside." The debate rages on, reflecting the complexities and nuances of the situation. There's no easy answer, no clear-cut right or wrong. It's a matter of perspective, of individual values and beliefs. Even the street performers pause their acts, their eyes fixed on the unfolding drama. The ice cream vendor stops scooping, his cone dripping unnoticed onto the pavement. The entire area is momentarily frozen, captivated by the aftermath of the collision. The incident has become a focal point, a catalyst for conversation and debate. It's a reminder that even in the midst of a seemingly predictable ceremony, unexpected events can occur, sparking a range of emotions and reactions. And it highlights the power of a single moment to unite, divide, and provoke reflection. But what about the guard? What's going through his mind as he continues his march, seemingly oblivious to the chaos he's left in his wake? It's easy to see him as a symbol, a machine of duty, but beneath that bearskin hat and scarlet tunic, there's a human being. Let's imagine a glimpse into his thoughts, a fleeting moment of introspection amidst the rigid routine. He remembers the years of rigorous training, the countless hours spent perfecting his every move, the unwavering dedication required to become a member of the guard. He recalls the sacrifices he's made, the personal celebrations he's missed, the time spent away from his family. He knows that his duty comes first, that he represents something bigger than himself. He thinks about the weight of tradition, the responsibility of upholding the values of the monarchy. He understands that his actions, however small, have a ripple effect, impacting the perception of his country and its history. He remembers the faces of the tourists, the eager anticipation in their eyes, the sense of awe and wonder they experience when witnessing the changing of the guard. He wants to provide them with a memorable experience, to showcase the best of his country and its traditions. He doesn't dwell on the collision, doesn't allow himself to feel anger or resentment towards the tourist. He simply focuses on his duty, on maintaining his composure, on fulfilling his role to the best of his ability. He's a human being, yes, but he's also a symbol. And in that moment, he embodies the very essence of duty, discipline, and unwavering commitment. The incident with the tourist is just a fleeting moment in a long and demanding career, a minor blip on the radar of his unwavering dedication. And as he continues his march, he carries on with the same unwavering focus and determination, a true guardian of tradition. As the crowd begins to thin and the initial excitement fades, the tourist finds himself standing alone, the remnants of his shattered dignity scattered around him like broken glass. The shame lingers, a heavy weight in the pit of his stomach. He watches the guard complete his march, his movements still precise and unwavering. He sees the respect in the eyes of the remaining onlookers, the quiet admiration for the dedication and discipline on display, and something shifts within him. The initial embarrassment begins to give way to a grudging respect, an understanding of the values that the guard represents. He realizes that his actions were not just foolish. They were disrespectful, a violation of a tradition that deserves to be honored. He clenches his fist, a silent acknowledgement of his mistake. He wants to apologize, to express his remorse, but the guard is too far away, lost in the sea of scarlet and bearskin. So, he does the only thing he can do. He offers a silent apology, a gesture of respect finally understood. He straightens his shoulders, pulls himself together, and picks up his cracked sunglasses. He takes a deep breath, filling his lungs with the crisp London air. He knows he can't undo what he's done, but he can learn from it. He vows to be more respectful, more mindful of the traditions and customs of the places he visits. He understands that being a tourist is not just about seeing the sights. It's about understanding and appreciating the culture and history of the places he explores. And as he walks away from Buckingham Palace, he carries with him a valuable lesson, a reminder that even on vacation, respect and responsibility are essential. The guard, oblivious to the silent apology offered by the tourist, continues his duty, eventually disappearing from view as the changing of the guard ceremony concludes. The remaining members of the guard march into the palace, their scarlet tunics and bearskin hats a final flash of tradition against the backdrop of the historic building. The crowd, now significantly smaller, begins to disperse, buzzing with the memory of the incident. The street performers resume their acts, the ice cream vendor starts scooping again, and the area gradually returns to its normal state of bustling activity. But the atmosphere has shifted. There's a sense of quiet reflection, a lingering awareness of the unexpected drama that unfolded just moments before. The collision between the tourist and the guard has left its mark, a subtle reminder of the importance of respect, tradition, and the consequences of one's actions. The story of the drunk tourist and the stoic guard will likely be retold countless times, evolving with each retelling, becoming a local legend, a cautionary tale, or a humorous anecdote. It will be shared on social media, analyzed by commentators, and debated by tourists and locals alike. But at its core, it remains a simple story about a clash of cultures, a moment of unexpected drama, and a valuable lesson learned. It's a reminder that even in the most predictable of circumstances, unexpected events can occur, forcing us to confront our values, question our assumptions, and reflect on our place in the world. And as the sun sets over Buckingham Palace, casting long shadows across the cobblestones, the memory of the drunk tourist and the stoic guard lingers in the air, a silent testament to the enduring power of tradition and the enduring importance of respect. The guard has finished his duty, marching out of sight. The area around Buckingham Palace is slowly returning to normal, but the story isn't quite over yet. It's a story that holds a simple yet important message. This message is about respect. The guard represented respect for tradition, duty, and history. He showed how important it is to commit to something, even when things get tough. He stood tall, even when a silly tourist bumped into him. The tourist at first didn't understand this. He was too busy having fun to notice the rules and customs of the place he was visiting. He thought being a tourist meant doing whatever he wanted. But after the accident, and after feeling embarrassed, he started to see things differently. He realized that respect is a two-way street. It means honoring the places you visit and the people who live there. The story reminds us that even small actions can have big consequences. A little bit of carelessness can ruin things for everyone else. but a little bit of respect can make the world a better place. So, the next time you are traveling somewhere new, remember the story of the tourist and the guard. Remember to be mindful of the customs, to honor the traditions, and to show respect to the people you meet. That's how to be a good tourist, and that's how to make the world a little bit brighter, one respectful act at a time. And maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid getting shoulder-checked by a very serious guard. So, what's the big takeaway from this story? It's not just about a silly tourist getting knocked down. It's about something deeper. It's about understanding why rules and traditions matter. Think about it. Every place has its own special way of doing things. These ways aren't just random. They come from history, culture, and the beliefs of the people who live there. When we visit a new place, it's important to learn about these customs. It's like learning a new language. You wouldn't just start shouting in English and expect everyone to understand you, would you? You'd try to learn a few phrases to be polite. It's the same with customs. We need to be respectful and try to understand why things are done a certain way. Sometimes it might seem silly or strange to us, but that doesn't mean it's not important to the people who live there. The guard wasn't just being mean when he shoulder-checked the tourist. He was protecting something important, the tradition of the changing of the guard. He was showing respect for the rules and customs that his country holds dear. And the tourist learned a valuable lesson. He learned that being a good tourist means being a respectful guest. It means honoring the places you visit and the people you meet. So, let's all try to be good tourists. Let's learn about the places we visit, respect the customs, and honor the traditions. And let's remember the story of the tourist and the guard. A reminder that respect is always the best way to travel. So, as the sun sets on our little drama outside Buckingham Palace, let's think for a moment about what we've learned. This wasn't just about a tipsy tourist and a grumpy guard. It was a tiny window into how we all interact with the world and with each other. We saw the importance of tradition. Those guards aren't just dressing up in funny hats for fun. They represent something that's been around for a long time, a sense of history and duty that many people value. Respecting those traditions, even if you don't fully understand them, is a big part of being a good global citizen. We also saw the importance of boundaries. The tourist crossed a line, literally and figuratively. He didn't pay attention to where he was or how his actions might affect others. We all need to be aware of the boundaries around us, whether they're physical, cultural, or social. And finally, we saw the consequences of our actions. The tourist's little stumble led to a rather undignified tumble, a bruised ego, and a valuable lesson learned. Everything we do has an impact, and it's important to think about what that impact might be before we act. So, the next time you're traveling, or even just walking down the street in your own town, remember the tourist and the guard. Remember to be respectful, be mindful, and be aware of the consequences of your actions. Because even the smallest stumble can lead to a big lesson. And who knows, you might just avoid a shoulder check from a very serious person in a very big hat. The end.